What is up, all your wonderful beings? It's Gage here, and welcome to Real Talk. I got a good friend of mine, Abraham.
What's up? How you guys doing?
Dude, it's just great to have you, man. And,
Yeah, man.
And dude, like Larry, like I thought you were gonna be gone by this point too.
I know. It's just, life's a journey, man. We all have our time, Sometimes we have to just come where we're at, in our life, like our past, our present, and our future, And I am leaving, and it's crazy to think how this whole time, like being here, and you're coming back from your trip at the forest, how that's been, for you personally.
Man, the forest was life changing. When I came here, I felt like I was caged. I caged myself. You know what I mean? I isolated myself a lot of times, and I was in a job I hated. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I could barely go there at times.
I feel that.
And and it could have been, I believe it was a mixture of autism burnout, which I talked to a couple people that have autism. They said that can definitely happen when you run your motors really, because our brains kind of work differently. Like our brains work very rapid.
Oh man, yeah.
And we can work hard too, like overwork ourselves, and then we kind of just drained of all our energy.
Yeah,
because we don't realize how much we're producing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like it was a mixture of depression though, because I wasn't happy where I was currently.
Right.
And being at the forest, like legit, I walked there and I just felt something powerful. And I talked to people, people like Nancy, Emily, who was the manager at the time, and I just felt all this love at once. I was like, whoa, what is this, man? Like, I'm not this. I just feel very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I even had this spiritual experience, like my fourth day. I'm still kind of getting real, but I feel energized again. Like I wake up.
I see that. I can see it. You're being that person that you've always been. You just have to get through that initial part of where you were at before, like all these months ago, and now coming back at it. And I couldn't even tell, because last night when I saw you for the first time in months, you were just so light, like you felt so loose and so bright with everything going on, man. I commend you for everything you've been, man. Just all the things that you've had to go through in your life, I can't imagine how it's all been for you.
I really appreciate it, man. It's been a journey, and yours too, man. Like you've been through a lot as well.
Yeah, so I just want to say this. I have on Instagram. My name is Duez. My nickname Divine Unity Element Zen. I do the same thing as Gage Real Talk. Well, I'm starting to actually helping people out with philosophy talks. Kind of like self-help. Think of it like TED Talks. You're kind of like self-help gurus, kind of, but just helping people out, with just things, because we're doing the same thing, me and him. We're just helping people, and we're getting ourselves out of our comfort zone and just putting ourselves out there. One person may watch us, a million. Our goal is to get millions of people to watch us, but it all starts with one person. That one person that we reach out to, we touch their heart, we really get them to feel our emotion. They can get them invested in the product and in the program, the show that we're giving them, but to them, understanding that life, man, just what you give is what you get, you give and you receive.
And this journey is worth recording.
Yeah.
I heard that from my brother. He mentioned that, and I was like, whoa. And that's journaling. It's not. Journaling is it helps with the mind, and also it helps record your life.
That's right.
Like I think if I had kids and they want, like, well, what was Dad like when he was like around 23?
Exactly.
I'm
that's
like,
right.
Hey, this is my journal. If you really want to get my insights and my perspective, maybe it can relate better than who I am currently.
Of course, and in life, it's like with journaling. Like you're writing things down, but you're also like you're using it in a way to express, like within the camera, like your video. That's a way. You're documenting like your life. You're putting it out there in a vlog format, in a video setting. Like, this is me talking to the camera.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to a camera through a phone with lenses and a camera. Like the fact that I'm speaking in a camera right now, talking about my life and our lives and where things are going with the world, and a lot of things are going on in the world, man. Like we're coming out of an age like where everyone's starting to come back together. We're no longer 6 feet, 6 feet apart, or just with.
And there's still
COVID,
things coming through.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like even
you notice
VR,
how different it is.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like we're all starting to come together. It's like
again, after many years,
Yeah, because we've been stuck on the phone. The pandemic was terrible. I don't even want to label terrible, dude. Just what it was. It had good and bad. And I'll speak on the good. A lot of people are like, man, like I gained weight from it. People died. It's unfortunate.
Depression, suicide, anxiety, like just
But
being in my lowest point and then leaving home, pretty much knocking the door down, kicking it down, and just going on my own, from away from family, because I was at a point in my life where, long story short, I just wanted to die. I didn't want to be here. I was just in my room all day, just playing video games, listening to music, escaping. I wasn't doing like a lot of drugs then, but like after I left, I started doing drugs. Started to smoke my first joint, my first blunt. Started getting into psychedelics and mushrooms, and this is where it all began. Journey here. From where I became. From where I was at. Miami, and now I'm in St. Pete, and now I'm coming back after some time away and seeing my family again. That's crazy. Seeing my dad. Because I did go last year to see my mom, but now I'm gonna go see my dad and my mom and part of my family, which I've not seen in a long time. And family's important, man. Family's all we have and all that we got, and we have to be there for our loved ones, especially now in a time like this, man, because a lot of us are, life can be incredibly long, but it can also be, short, and it's winded, like you don't know what's going to happen, man. You got to make every moment count, because you have that. It's your gift.
I feel that, man. It is important.
And it's a lesson.
Family, it's important.
And your blessings.
Your blessings,
Count them, because you have them.
Every saying in our lives, we can be grateful for, man. It's like, like when people say they don't be grateful, I'm like, dude, you're alive. Imagine how many people have passed away. It's like, a lot of people say that, but it's like being truly grateful for your life, man. We only get one. And I like, for me personally, I'm spiritual. I do believe in past lives, but even I don't know. I don't, like, legit, no one knows. It's just like, we're guessing what's going to happen. We truly don't know. I feel like I do believe in past lives. Like, I truly feel that, and I feel like I've seen things that are like, whoa, this is a proof of what's,
Right, absolutely.
But, for people that are like still kind of, they're going for their own journeys. It could be Christianity or religion or maybe, and people that don't believe in God.
A lot of my family, like part of my family is like religious and also, sacrilegious or, evangelicals, Christian, Catholic, a lot of witchery, a lot of, just a lot of, it's culty,
Well, religion is kind of culty, bro.
Exactly.
You literally you have to follow these rules, and there's sacrifices in the book, and you follow somebody. And
through a book that was made by man. It wasn't really, you can take it from what God said, and God said, his commandments or his revelations or, just Genesis or whatever, like any chapter of the book, John 3:16, Matthew, McConaughey, like different verses of the Bible, and you're just like, what?
Dude, it's wild, man.
I mean, there's truth to it. Obviously, the Bible. Every part of with religion, it's like there's truth, but there's also like there's our ego, like our human minds, like thinking that God is just this materialistic thing, like this superficial kind of, like you don't, whatever life, I rule. You do that, I will take you underneath me. If not, if you obey me, I'll take you to some place that exists underneath or above us, which we know is all infinite,
Well, and also hell is fear-based.
It's fear-based.
It's very fear-based, and it's like, hey, man, if I eat it's funny. I went to this men's group at this temple called the Temple of Living God. Yeah. They're very open. They don't force anything, but anyway, I went to this group. And this guy, he grew up Catholic for 30 years. He's like, man, I couldn't, like, it just didn't make sense to me. And it's like, man, if I have a burger on Friday or do something, just a small thing, it's like, oh, you're going to hell, bro. You're done. It's like, it's like, dude, why does that, like, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, bro. It's like, I'm going to hell anyway, so fuck this.
Right. Hell and heaven, it's all perspective. And we're living right now, we're in earth. Earth at times, it's how, like, you can have your moments where you're just like, positive. It's your heaven, and then you're negative. It's your Hades or your hell. Whatever. Yeah. Hades is another word for hell. Or like just your personal whatever, like your whatever you think of as it is, like it is. But hell and heaven, it correlates. It's like like with different philosophies. Like for instance, like Chinese philosophy. like I Ching. You got your elements like hell, or not hell, fire. You got water. You got lake, wind, heaven, and then you got earth, and you got like other elements. Think of it like zodiac, like you have your astrology signs, and then you have like your other things, like there's different philosophies with that, with different elements of signs, like symbols. There's language there. Art, music, peace and love. Just it's all there for you to get and just learn. Like it's an interesting thing. Get out into. Like I've been getting more into like Chinese philosophy and just philosophy with like life. Like how to like Taoism. Just going with the flow and being just the flow and not being just a part of the flow, but just being of the flow to your own existence. Just leading by example, being a leader. And not just a follower, wanderer. If you want to be, but
yeah, you can be. It's your journey. Like I try not to judge. You know what I mean? Like I find myself judging at times. I'm like, well, man, that's not for me to judge, bro. I'm just human. I'm for going for the human condition, man. Because I believe we all have God within us. Yeah. But it's like, how can I judge, man? Like even the people that done the most. Yeah. Like even I'm judging right now, dude. Like
of course.
Like even this label's judging.
We all judge.
It's like right, evil. Yeah. Like Ted Bundy, these people have done things that are
it's what you,
horrendous.
Yeah.
And just sickening, and it's like I can't judge them, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, and like it's funny, like in religion. Like I'm trying not to talk shit, but like religion is just a perspective. You know what I mean? I used to have like a lot of pain body with Christianity because I was kind of forced on that, not by my family, but other people in my life. And I was very like, man, this sucks. Like I have a lot of pain body towards it. I tried to buy into it, but I couldn't. And it just didn't make sense, and I felt very judged most of my life from it. And I'm never sense.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's judgment, which we all judge as humans. Like as individuals, we all like have we judge. And part of living is to judge. And there's good judgment, there's whatever bad, good and bad. Whatever
observing, what I mean?
Just observing it,
Yeah, like, exactly.
Because it's not all like good or bad. It's just whatever, and what can you really consider to be good and bad judgment unless you're just like judging someone from, from their whole like aura or vibe or energy, because there's that. You can feel like just something from that interaction or from that encounter that you have with someone, because we're all learning from each other, infinite, and we're in infinite amount of times like learning, going through our experiences in our life.
And judgment's basically it's based off our standards. We're
our expectations.
Someone, expectations and standards.
Yeah. And
like I said, Ted Bundy, all these guys that like done horrendous things that we label as evil.
Yeah, exactly.
I still love them, as souls. You know what I mean? Like the God within them. I love that part of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're all brothers and sisters. And sometimes our brothers and sisters go on a very dark path.
And love, at times, call it love or lust, with like saying that what you don't know about with love, and it's like with hatred. And this is what I was talking about you earlier. Like hatred to me, it's like with this. It's like it's not necessarily that you just hate someone. You can hate them, but also love them. You just don't know how to love. It's like hating can be knowing how to love, but not knowing how to kind of love too. Having a hard time understanding love and really getting a grasp of love, because all you know is just a hate, even though that's like your form of and your way of giving tough love or just knowing how to love. But it's not the most genuine love. It's just a love that for a lot of people in Finnish society, all they know to be is just selfish, indulgent, or just you're not thinking really outside of yourself or whatever. You're thinking of other people, but you're not. You're just thinking of yourself, because selfishness and greed and capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism, dude. All that fucking. Yeah. Like, hey, bro, this is just. Yeah. Like, hey, man, we got. It's a pandemic, man. You guys spend like $20 on a burger, man. So
I know, and that burger doesn't even fill you up or actually give you the nutrients that you need to
most of this shit doesn't fill you up, man.
Honestly, no.
I feel like they do it on purpose, just I guess to pay more.
Yeah, remember those $5 fries I bought at Salem's Fresh Eats, like just around the corner, like just coming into the house, like those fries didn't really like fill me up. Even with the ketchup, they were delicious. It was an appetizer, but it was just a side of fries. It didn't really fill me up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I had some munchies, because I smoke. I smoke a lot of weed, and it's like it helps me.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's relaxing.
Dude, the blueberry patch last night, that was awesome. Like,
yeah,
that was just a beautiful experience.
Dude, and it was good to see you again. Like, your travels and everything, like with the forest. I got to go to the forest myself, man. I need to, I'm going back home to see my father, which I've not seen in 11 years. It's been 11 years since I've seen my father, and it's like it's a long time, and I got to go see him and my family, going back, reconnecting, and just this trip for me would be just to go back and have more established, more consistent connection and relationship with my family, and really being there for them and them being there for me. We need each other now more than ever,
Yeah.
and especially in these times, because it's these uncertain times that we're kind of in. That we don't know how many days we have. All we have is right now, today, tomorrow, presently. We are here,
Exactly.
but tomorrow, in the future, we don't know, man. It's like
Bro, we could
nothing's
die in
promised.
2 hours from now. It's
Nothing's
like you never know.
promised. Nothing's forever, but at the same time, it's infinite. It is forever. Because
It
nothing,
is.
part of nothing, it is something as you think of it, and it can be everything you want to be.
Yeah. That's why, it's like, I learned, I'm going for judgment, like, even the smallest thing, like this girl on the bus. It doesn't have to be as significant as, like, someone that's done horrendous things, like a Tim Bundy or Adolf Hitler, you know what I mean? And I look at that as, like, before I get into that, it's like, when I speak of these guys, I don't love what they did, but I do love them as the God within them,
Yeah, they're all
like
gods.
the God that created them.
Yeah, we're gods, infinite, and we're the creators of our own imagination, realities, and different, like, just the way we live our life, like the introduction, the prologue, the epilogue, how we start off in the prologue and then our epilogue, and just where it's like with a movie, with a video game, how it starts and how it finishes, every chapter, every segue, every scene, it's like, I look at life like this. It's a movie. It's a video game. It's
Exactly.
like The Matrix. I mean,
Yeah,
we're
like
literally
you get to pick.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a good guy or a bad guy?
or right in the middle, or you're kind of like an anti-hero or anti
Yeah,
whatever. You're just like establishment, or just like I'm a communist, socialist, capitalist, or
Exactly.
fascist. Don't want to be a fascist though. I mean, fuck 12. Fuck you. I'm for freedom, not for patriarchy or what do you call it? Yeah, for yeah, don't want to be run by authority, authoritarian shit. Fuck you guys.
You feel
for real.
strongly about that?
Yeah.
You're like, hell no.
Yeah, like fuck 12. Like fuck you guys. I love the rest of y'all.
Wait,
though.
what is 12?
Cops. It's like street slang, like lingo for like 12. Pigs, piggers. Like,
Oh, yeah,
can I say that? I mean, sorry,
Yeah,
I did say that. I mean, it's
Yeah, say whatever you
offensive.
want, man. You're free to say
Real
what-
shit. We're talking about like
Yeah, we're talking about everything, dude. Yeah, I mean, like
That's
that
what.
shit-
Yeah.
a lot of people are gonna like even be this podcast. People are like, oh,
That's what the
oh, he
podcast
just
is.
said he loves Adolf Hitler. He's a fucking he must they hate like what he must
No.
love what he did. It's like no, I don't love what he did, but the human like the God within him, which is the soul, and his soul is like completely dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he served his purpose. You know what I mean?
He didn't have a light soul. He had a dark soul. But
did.
but
But there was God within that soul.
But we
you
can
know what I
even
mean?
question like why that is. Like why did he why did he have such a tainted, dark, really corrupted soul? Was it because of the way he was like when he was born, like how he was raised, like just his ideology, his his ideologue, like just him thinking about just what he knew, like his upbringing, like his teachings, like what it was that made him that person. How it transpired, how it.
Because he did have a dark soul. It's like
Yeah.
I love the God within him. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
the soul, but the God within him. That
Right.
is that And,
But what makes him really like outside of what he did, which of course we don't condone and advocate for what he did. Obviously
No,
we're against
no,
it.
no.
But what about him is really bad outside of that? Like he's just a soul.
Yeah.
Take granted he was a soul that
and he's good for the human condition, like we all are, man.
you know.
You know what I mean? Like all of us could have turned out bad, man. Like
any of us,
like,
you
like
and me,
make one decision, and he made the decision. Like, hey, I'm gonna be bad, bro. Like I'm gonna,
and that's
I'm
it.
Gonna, I'm gonna make
not
these,
gonna be
I'm
good at
gonna
all.
make these decisions.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he might not. In his mind, he's like, I'm a good guy. I'm getting rid of Jews because he saw them as bad in his mind, and we all he made a decision to be the type of person.
Yeah, of course. And it's crazy because that's a lot of times that's with us. We judge things and we sometimes it is true. Like we label things that we don't understand, and a lot of times like we can label something as just good or bad for simply not agreeing with it, and we don't just see it in our own eyes because we don't correlate with it, we don't resonate with it. Unless if we do, then yeah, we'll just think of that one thing, that one person that has this like superior thing that we're just so quite inferior to, and we're like, oh my god, this person is everything I would want to be and just am, and I would love to become like that person. But you don't, like, you become simply what you are and who you are, that is yourself. You go against the grain of things, like you become yourself in time. Like you have to go through things like to learn what it is to be in yourself, what it is to be, you know, Abraham or Gage, you know, like just us, the, you know, our human selves, or just whatever, aliens, you know, we're aliens from outer space, and we're in a fucking rock, we're flowing in a fucking space rock, flowing in space, you know, in time
society,
and space, you know,
and
like,
the government
crazy.
and society wants us to be the exact same thing, be workers,
Exactly.
and follow the fucking assembly lines.
Fall
like
in place.
Fall in place, man.
Yeah,
it's like,
fall in
no,
line.
dude, fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
You know, people told me what I couldn't do my whole life because I was autistic. They're like, yeah, man, your expectation is this low, bro. You're this as far as you can go. Like, you're gonna need help the rest of your life. You're not gonna be able to make decisions on your own because you have a mental illness. It's like, no, bro, fuck that. Like, and dude, and that's what led me to almost killing myself, dude. They're legit.
I feel you.
I fully accept it, but not in the way that was good. I was like, God damn, I'm like, fuck, my whole life is fucking ruined. You know what I mean? Like, I blamed God. I was like, God, why the fuck did you do this to me?
It's a lot, bro. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and to a point, you know, my life is very chaotic. Like, my parents, I love them. You know what I mean? They love me, but there's a lot of
chaos within the family. I know, man. It's
a lot of chaos in the family.
Or just
They
in
had me
general.
very young. You know what I mean? Like, they had my brother at they're like barely 21. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
they're
man.
very young, and they had me at like 25. So it was like they're very young. You know, for parents. And they had a lot of shit they were still dealing with in her life, you know what I mean? Like, my parents had a lot of traumas throughout their lives.
Yeah, of course.
And you know, they just were unconscious. Yeah. And, you know, like, I learned a lot from my parents. Like, my mom, I still have struggles at times with my parents, but it's like, I love them because they did the best they could for me. Like, my mom would do anything for me. Same with my father.
My mom as well, my dad too. I've not seen him in a long time though, so yeah, I can imagine, man, how that's gonna go out, like play out, like seeing my dad for the first time in 11 years, over a decade.
Yeah.
I've seen him since I was 12. I'm 23 now, and you're 23 too. That's why we also kind of like, we get things from ourselves, like with our age, like we can really understand things because we're at an age.
Yeah.
You and me, like we're in a tough age.
Yeah.
We're literally like in our kind of early 20s, but we're approaching our mid 20s, and then we're still going to be in our 20s, but you know, in about 7 years we're going to be 30. Like, literally, in 7
Don't
years.
be telling me that now.
I mean, we're gonna, you know.
I'm gonna be rocking it
just,
still though, but
we'll be fine. You know, just live in the moment and be like, yeah, we're still young. You know, we're learning from ourselves and each other.
yeah.
And we're
People
becoming
are so
more
scared
of
of 30.
ourselves.
I'm like, dude, that's still young, man. Like, really, you don't get old until you're like maybe your mid to late 50s. Like,
Even past that, like 60, 70. You know, like, and people live up to 100, 110, 120, 50, 200. I mean, there's people that live up forever, man.
Yeah, I don't. Like, I do want to live a long time, but I don't want to be the point where I'm like shitting my diapers. You know?
Oh yeah, he got that. Yeah, I know. That's no, yeah, no. That old, and I can't even do that. I mean, I'd rather put out of my misery at that point. Like, pull the plug. Or I don't know, just
for real,
just
bro.
pull the plug, pull it away from me, and then just cut me off life support. Don't even try to bring me back.
Dude.
Just, I'm done. I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Like, if I'm shitting diapers, bro, I'm not living my best life at that point. You know what
dude. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like, dude, I want to live long enough where I'm still, like, in my, you know, like, I'm confident and I'm still, like, living my best life, basically. You know, and that could be 80, but, you know, I want to live to 100, but I thought about, like, oh, man, I have to, you know, I don't want to, I want to be to that state, you know, but I do want to live a long time, you know. Like, for a while, I didn't think I was gonna live past 20. You know, to be honest,
dude. I mean, you're speaking in my lingo right now, my language. I mean, I at 20, I didn't think I was gonna make it past even like this age, like past 21, 22. Like, I'm 23 now, and the fact that I'm even still here, presently speaking, emotionally, spiritually, like, it's amazing because it's like, and it's crazy because for the first 20 years of my life, or really up until now, till the age of 23, I didn't think I exist. And what I mean by that is I always just thought of myself as just whatever. I am a figment of everyone else's imagination. I'm just like a speck or a little part of the world that no one really knows. Because for most of my life, I didn't think I really belonged, or cause growing up, I didn't have really a lot of friends. I had friends, but they weren't really my friends. They were kind of just like there when it was good and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just mostly there. I was really, growing up, I was just really introverted, you know, antisocial, or kind of just like always, like, after getting out of class, my classroom, going into lunch or whatever, and then I'd go home and stuff from school. I would just go stay in my room all day, play video games, listen to music, kind of just like escape, and then
You're speaking my language, man.
addictions, and we can get into that too. Addictions as well, and escapism and drug use.
And that is addiction, you know what I mean? Video games, anything that
drugs,
you're
everything.
trying to escape from is an addiction, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, you're speaking my language. I felt the exact same way. Like, growing autistic, I was diagnosed at 5, and I just felt like judgments for my whole life, man.
Yeah, man. ADHD, and you know what? I'm probably like on the spectrum too. Like, I mean, I could be a little autistic too. I mean, because our minds are really similar. Like, my mind could be 1,000, 110, 100 million miles an hour, and your mind could be just as quick, if not, you know, just whatever. I mean,
I feel like we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's why we're talking right now. And that's what we're here right now, speaking to the camera, and then letting people know about our lives and our perspective and our introspective, you know, retrospective things, and realizing that we are where we're at in our life, and that is crucial because, you know, to the people watching, you know, like we go through, all of us as an individual, as a collective, a lot, and we live in some weird kind of strange whatever times, and we're coming out of a time where we were just all inside, all quarantined, isolated, you know, and it's like that affected me in a lot of ways, like depression, suicide. I almost did kill myself at 20 years old, and I was not in a good place. I was in college, stopped going to college, was not doing it for me, was doing it for family. I was not happy, and it's like still to this day, I'm 23, and it's like I still don't have my life all figured out or know, and it's like I don't know really much of anything. I just know that I'm here for a reason, that I'm finding out my purpose and my mission and my reason of being here, you know, like
I keep forgetting you went to college, dude. That's wild.
Yeah, and that's a forgettable time in my life too. I mean it's not. I mean, it's taught me a lot about like myself and things, you know, because had it not happened, you know, in the way with, you know, in Corona, you know, and COVID, you know, just that whole pandemic was blessing in disguise for me, because, you know, when everyone else was inside, I was starting to really be more outside. I was leaving the house at certain times of the day, the night, you know, kind of sneaking out, kind of like just going out there when no one else was out there. It kind of felt nice just being outside, and then to be quiet and peaceful, because it's like I love nature too, and it's like I love just being outside. It's just growing up I was always sheltered. I never really was able to just be outside and kind of like just, you know, enjoy my life. Just always sheltered, you know. Grew up in a really strict religious kind of background and setting, you know.
That's tough.
You had a similar experience?
My parents never really forced on me. Luckily, my grandmother is a Jehovah's Witness, so she tried to force out my mom. My mom, it kind of followed my grandmother in a way, so she would, my mom would went with along with him, and my dad did it. He's like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of choose their own paths. They want what they want to believe in. Because my dad never really believed in any of that stuff.
Right.
Because my aunt committed suicide, so he never wanted to believe she was in hell. You know what I mean? Because my aunt was she's a very good person, but she was in a lot of pain. She ended her life. You know?
I mean, my heart goes out to you, and you know, all that stuff. My condolences, and knowing, you know, like where we end up after we die, you know, it's like we go somewhere. That's for sure.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Wherever that might be, you know, we don't go in this fictional whatever.
And
I mean, hell and heaven exists in the relative sense, you know, in the multiverse, like, you know, it's infinite, but I believe it's wherever you want to go. It's not this thing like, oh, you're gonna go wherever it is you're gonna go.
Yeah.
It's not this thing that you just like someone chooses for you, like, oh, you're gonna go either up there or down here. Like, it's like you're gonna go underneath or go up. It's like whatever. Just you're gonna end up wherever
you're a good man. You know, as long as you decide to be good, you know, do good, and I believe people that have done, you know, they're in the middle, that I believe you get a second, you know, like you get second chances, man, and you might pick different roles, you know, and because we all, you know, we judge people for like, and it's horrendous things, you know, like what Ted Bundy, Adolf Hitler, all these people that have done like things that are unthinkable.
Yeah, of course.
And I think even they get second chances, you know, in different
of
lives.
course. I mean,
everyone gets a second chance in different lives.
I mean, karma, cycle, yoga. Like, I mean, you do good things, good deeds. It all goes around, comes around, bad and good, you know. But, you know, yin and yang.
Yeah,
you know?
like and you can definitely like. And I might even get judged for saying this, but I believe they were exactly where they're supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the yin yang, you need the evil for the good.
You need that balance, you know. You can't just be good, because we all have that darkness.
No, I agree. Yeah, we all have darkness, man. And Adolf Hitler, at a point, you know, as a kid, he wasn't born evil. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't like, man, I'm gonna kill everybody. It's like, no, bro.
He had a pureness and genuineness to his soul, but in times, like, you know, as he grew up and stuff, you know, because he, you know, I think his parents were good. I think his mom like was, it's like
He just grew. He grew.
Yeah.
He had the human condition.
yeah.
And he just got conditioned. Like
His
in different
condition,
ways.
his teachings, like what he was preached to growing up, like just
And
the
his
way it structured
perspective.
his mind, like how to get him to think these things and to act in the way that he did, and
Yeah.
killing, and
Jewish people, like
and Holocaust, millions of
it was,
Jews.
it was unfortunate. what
Serious
happened
stuff,
to all that.
Imagine being in a camp and then one day they decide to put you in a gas chamber and then that's it,
It's horrible.
Concentration camps. I mean, it's crazy to think that was a period in time that was honestly not even that long ago. Like
It doesn't feel real.
Just
Like it does. It feels like.
Yeah, I know. It was just
It's
not that long ago. Like
It's
yeah.
When I heard her stories, I had tears in my eyes, man.
Yeah, man.
It was like, just couldn't imagine going through that. What they had to go through.
And that wasn't that long ago.
And they
It
were
was just,
fighting for
yeah.
their lives the whole time, dude, trying to escape, and they never did.
And when was it? Like around like the 40s or 30s?
40s, yeah.
Yeah, it's just 80 like something years. I mean, almost 100 years.
It was like around, I believe they
Yeah.
had, like the gas chambers, like that was around the early 40s.
I mean,
And it was terrible, dude. Like,
and we're in the
like
2020s
knowing-
right now. I know it's crazy.
Yeah, and
Come a long
Adolf
way.
Hitler, he definitely had some judgments and different, and his point of view, that he thought he was doing good, like he's getting rid of a cancer, but that was his perspective. Like we all think we're doing the best we can, but we aren't.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not condemning what he did or anything, but it's like I want to be at the point where I don't judge anybody. You know what I mean? Like regardless of what they did. You know what I mean? I want to give them that love.
No, because what we need is love, and and it's like understand what someone did, but at the same time really dissecting why they did it, and not only that, just really go deep in the psyche of the mind, like just going really meta on things and really going physically, like just thinking why they did the things they did, like why, but also understanding in their mind like what they are, who they
it's
are.
like, hey, you're fucking evil, bro. That's
Well, you don't even-
I don't feel
yeah,
good saying
no.
that. I don't feel good saying that, dude. Doesn't
Of
matter
course,
who the
yeah.
fuck it is. You know what I mean? And like, it doesn't matter who it is, dude. I don't feel good saying that, man. And I feel like that's the darkness. Like I don't like saying that regardless who it is. And I want to be a person that gives love, man. Like my vision, my goal for myself is be someone like I guess you can describe as an elder. You know what I mean? Someone that you can come to vice for, and just has that like balance. He doesn't go to he doesn't like he doesn't have a strong opinion about something. It's like, oh, this is good, this is bad. It's just like a very balanced, and that's where I kind of want to be at my emotions. And I'm always, there's going to be things I will be emotional about. It's like, my autism and everything like that growing up. Those are things I will be passionate about. But as far as judging, if it's good and bad, I don't want to do that anymore. I just kind of want to give love. I don't, because you think here, your brain's going to be like, hey man, this dude's evil, this dude's an asshole. It's like, no man, they're just going for the human condition. And I want to give that love. And I don't want to give love with conditions or standards or for expectations. I just want to give them that love because I love them for what God created them to be.
Yeah.
And that's with anybody, man. And like at this point, and I'm proud. And this podcast, man, I'm grateful because I could talk about real shit and not feel judged. Because you know how many people on Twitter is like, oh, this guy said he loved Hitler and just make it into something that I
Exactly. No,
kinda
we're not
took away.
Kanye West. Like, I mean, well, and even in the way like he said it, like I think people misunderstood what he was saying. Not to defend him or something. He's saying in a way like Hitler was God. In a sense, he is God. Like we're all gods. We're all infinite beings, and I don't think he meant to say like in a way that's like, oh, he's just supporting what Hitler did.
Well, and people
you got to find the goodness in everyone, even to the worst individual, to the most evil, sadistic, like SOB, like to ever exist, like monster, very evil, vindictive person. That's like you have to really, like, just
find the good within them.
find a common ground, and also like a common denominator.
You don't have to condemn what they did.
Exactly.
But you can give them that love. You know what I
Still,
mean?
you can be judgeful because part of judging, we all judge as humans, but you have to
what
like,
kind of God would that
you
be?
have
A
to,
God, like,
yeah.
And what kind of God? God is love, man. What kind of God
Hates
that
or just
judge-
has judgment.
and,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
condemn somebody.
You have to have that kind of like, you have to really just understand like that. I mean, part of it is just love it. You gotta love more than just hate. And hate is even love. It's just another way of not understanding the love that you quite don't. Like you understand what it is to love and hate. It's like you love to hate, but you hate to love something. It's like you want to love it, but you hate it, but you also hate to love. It's different. People think, oh, well, hate is hate, and then love is love. Well, Yeah,
not really.
but it's one way of looking at it. But there's a lot of ways to look into it too. Like hate is hate, but it can also be a way of loving someone.
Hatred comes from love, man.
It comes from love, but you have to kind of understand it. And if you don't understand it, it's like what love is and what hate is.
It hurts to love, and that's where the hatred comes from.
And then it's like hatred is also like it's a form of love, but you don't quite understand it yet, or don't know how to like quite.
And I'm still learning that, dude. Like I'm
Yeah.
here for the human conditions. Like I'm like me. I want to spread love and peace, and that's to everybody. Like it doesn't mean I'm going to be in your life coaching you or anything like that, but it's just giving you that love. And even me, like I still had a hard time grasping like the people, some of the most evil people did. And I'm like, man, how could? And my ego's like, how can you love someone that could do something like that? But it's like my truer self is like, because they have God within them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're all connected. I believe we're all energies. We're all connected together.
Yeah.
What choices we make in this life.
That's right.
And I choose to love them like that. You know what I mean? I don't listen to this or my ego. I listen to my heart. My heart's like, love everybody, man. You know what I mean? Like even, you know, like, and I feel good with that. And I feel more balanced. And like, for me a long time, like, even the beauty buck, I was like, I couldn't talk about real shit like this. People would take out of context. Like, oh, he says he loves Hitler. This, that's like, no, man.
That's not what he means. Yeah,
it's not what.
It's not what we mean by what we're saying. Like Hitler. I mean, Hitler in his own way. I mean, obviously what he did was horrible, terrible, bad. Never should be done ever again.
Oh yeah, it's all bad.
You just find the goodness in him because we're all humans, but we're also I know that some of us have done horrible, terrible, disgusting things. We also done beautiful, great, amazing, wonderful things. Like, you gotta acknowledge.
Well, and he served the purpose. He served
his purpose, not quite the purpose everyone agrees with. But,
the
like
yin
just
yang, because the yin yang, you gotta have the good and the bad.
Exactly.
And it's like the darkness. What Hitler served that. He lived he lived exactly the way he was supposed to.
And he did, and even if it wasn't to the point where
like
it was right,
like we would want, but he did.
He lived, I guess, in his own way, in his own kind of delusional way of his own thinking. Like he lived his life, his truth, and what he thought was for him was the right thing. Which to everyone, I mean, to each his own. Everyone lives for their own truth. Whatever you find it to be. Like now you can be right or wrong or whatever. It's not entirely up to you or me to decide that. I mean, it's whatever it is. Well, for yourself at the end of the day. I mean, because we all live our own lives. Our own lives of thinking and believing things and really taken from our knowledge and our experience, and then it's like to each his own. Come as you are. Like you are what you are, and then you learn from what you've been, what you're doing, and where you're gonna be in your life, and you get through those moments in your life knowing what you haven't quite fully anticipated, but you're also like consistently getting into that thought process of, okay, I'm where I'm at now, and I'm here, and things are just happening and going.
Yeah, and it's like, and people like to pick out like, or like, oh, that dude said that. It's like, it's not taking at the surface level. It's going a little deeper than that, man. That's why
going
like,
deep, like deep underneath, like the ground that we're like,
like this
literally,
this because it's the most evil saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I like I agree with that, dude. I feel very like what happened to those people. I don't like the label on Jews, bro. There's souls, man.
They're just souls.
Like they're souls,
yeah.
man. And it saddens me, man.
They're
it really
people
does.
with souls. Yeah.
And that Hitler's no part of the whole society. It's like we separate ourselves, man. America, Germany, fucking all this shit. It's like
nations,
dude,
countries.
we're all fucking humans, man. We're fucking
Yeah.
souls. There's like there shouldn't be no separation, man. We're all fucking one, man. And war, fucking people getting hurt, man. Like people die fighting for something, dying for something. Like it doesn't have to happen, man. Like if we just loved it, if we just went with love, despite who did what, if we just went with love, man, the world would be different. You know what I mean?
It would be, and we don't need war. We don't need to like.
And the religion, like imagine my John Lennon. Imagine if there was no heaven or hell, no religion. We didn't have to fight for a country, which is just a fucking plot of land. Like who gives a fuck, bro?
Yeah, imagine.
Like we're human beings and souls, and if we just like look at it and I'm trying to think now. I'm not sure if it's Afghanistan, but that war that's going on right now.
Palestine and Israel. What's going on there? We can go into that really with like. I mean, is it right?
Well, it's just briefly like what's going on with them.
With
dude.
what's going on?
The
No,
wars
obviously,
that's been going on for years, dude, and people are dying, and there's people dying every day, dude. It's like and that's the balance of the world, unfortunately. But it's ego, man.
And also what's going on.
Ego. It's separation. The ego wants separation, but
Yeah.
really we're just one, bro. And everybody's like, oh no, I'm different than everybody else. It's like, no, we're one. We are truly
Right.
one with everybody, and it's giving that love. And in war, it doesn't matter how many wars you fucking have. You can have 1,000. War never changes, man. War, I'll tell you what war is. It's ego. That's what it is. People want to have control, but it's like, man,
Control,
you're just
power.
killing each other, bro. At this point,
Yeah.
you're just killing each other. How many wars have
It's
we had? How
disgusting.
many have it solved? What has it solved? Like, to be honest, we have a small time frame of peace, but how long has it lasted? We still fight each other over dumb shit.
Right. We're like, obviously, we're both against war. Like, if there's one thing I'm definitely anti, besides, anti-establishment or whatever, with, capitalism, with too much, like, whatever, I'm also anti war. Like, I'm really against that.